we'll get started over here. I just need to mute the volume. Once that goes live, then we'll do the record over here. It's so much technology for a farm boy from Ohio. Let's see. Once that goes live, then we'll do see, there it is. So now we mute that. We shove that over there, and we're going live. There's Rhonda Bird Parker. Rhonda, Elaine is here. Yay! It's
Good morning. Good morning, Elaine. I don't know what I look like. I'll come on camera real quick.
Oh gosh. You're not in a hotel room, right? Or traveling. There she is. Oh my goodness. And Kayla's here. Okay, let me go ahead and start the recording here. Hey, good morning, Misfits. I got to say thank you to everybody who's coming back. Because so many of you, I know a lot of you are on at 6:30 Central Time. And the weekends we do it just a little bit later to give people a chance who can't make it to the 6:30 a.m. or think the weekend is theirs. Good morning, Amirlin. I hope I say that right. And Lewis, great to have you here. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about today. But first, let's dance. Dun, dun, dun. No, let's, I don't know what I'm doing. But first, let's shimmy. Go ahead and send out your messages of joy, your messages of love, your 3 contacts, send them out to 3 people. And if you're an overachiever, which many of you are, good morning, Tanisha. If you're an overachiever, and many of you are, send them out to a variety of people. And what I mean by that is go ahead and send out some more people, send out some more to folks. The world needs you. And when you send these out, well, guess what? When I give this away, when I go, oh, I love you, it gives space for so much more to come back in. So with that being said, good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, January 4th, 2000. Let's go. Thanks, Miss. That's the number. Oh, hey, folks, if you don't know, that's the #1 speaker in the world. We're already speaking it into existence. The #1 platform speaker in the world, highest sales from stage, the most people who are influenced and invigorated by his message on a daily basis. So that's Vincent. Love him. Today we're going to have a conversation that's going to be really important about everything that we do. See, here's the thing. When we have a conversation with somebody in our business, we typically focus on, we narrow it down, right? We say in our business, we say in marketing, the niche, the rich is in the niche, right? The tighter you get, see, I talk about 1 or 2 things. I do not talk fashion because this hat does not go with this shirt, and I don't care. But I do have my Gucci glasses. I don't start. I didn't know they were Gucci glasses. I didn't know that when I bought them. And my Mason saw them and he goes, Dad. And all of his friends went, your dad's got Gucci glasses? I'm like, oh God, please tell me I don't. Yes, I do. Anyways, so I was sold them because I only see this. It's like the back of your hair when they say, would you like it rounded or square? I'm like, I never see the damn thing. Make it look nice. All right. Good morning. That was a neat way to spell Jonathan, I think, but it wasn't Jonathan, I don't think. Good morning. Thank you for showing up here. So when we have a conversation with people about business and we want them to come into our business and we want them to build their business and we want them to build a big business and we want them to be a customer in our business, we're always about, you see the pattern I'm going here, business, business, business. My question to you is this. Is that still going live? Hold on. I just got to check something. Yep. Okay, good. So that being said, there's a theme. Good morning, Terrell. Business. But you know what? And I teach this to my mastermind students. And because so many of you, DeMar's, now I gotta show up and put up, right? This is a performance. I can't practice anymore. DeMar is here. When you go out and you do a performance, you've got to show up, you've got to do the job. when we go out and we talk about our business, we're talking about one thing, our business, our business, our business. It gets crushed because it's a freaking math problem. I teach this to my mentor students because when they get this, when they grasp this, now this is about a month-long process to actually get it to sink in. I'm going to try to do it in an hour. And if it's okay if I try to do it in an hour, would you be okay with an hour-long version of this? If you are, just type an H in the chat. Let me know if you're okay with the short version of this. Okay, good. Good. Look at that, 103 people. We did it. We did it, everybody. We're making a difference. I love you all. Hey, listen, if nobody's told you yet today, thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. And again, for those of you that came back from the 6:30 jump on that you did because you didn't know it was 8:30 this weekend, the weekend calls, thank you for coming back. All right, so let me go ahead and get us started here. Let me put us in presentation mode. Now I'm going to talk about the 6 retentions. There you go. There you go, Vincent. Throw it out there, brother. I appreciate it. I'm going to talk about the 6 retentions that you need in your business. What? See, here's why companies fail. Can I let you in on a little secret? You know why companies fail? They don't know how to retain you. It isn't your, listen, when you become a business builder, when you become a partner, when you become a distributor and affiliate, it is the company's responsibility to retain you. We put it off onto the distributor team. We put it off onto the leaders. But you know why they do that? Is because companies suck at it. My company sucks at it. They suck at retention. They suck at recognition. Now, they don't mean to, but listen, they can't suck if that's the norm. Listen carefully. Your team, Larry Thompson teaches us the 80, 15, and 5. 80% of your people just want to show up. They just want to be part of the family. They may not even do auto ship every month. 15% are going to go, yeah, I'm going to go build a business. And they're going to tell you they're going to be your next diamond and they become your next senior executive. That's okay. You got to love them. Then there's the 5%. Those are the ones that the company counts on. Those are the one the company counts on to keep the 15 and the 80%ers. You follow me? That's your responsibility. They put that responsibility on you. How could they put that responsibility on you when you've never run a business of 1,000 people, of 100 people? But you know what? You can run a business of 1. And that's where the companies do their best, to help you run a business of 1. Good morning, Don 2X and Valentino. Good morning, everybody. Stanley, good morning. Hey, how are you, man? Fautu, how are you? So let's talk about this. Let me show you some of the things that go on here. Share. Okay, let's see if I can do this right. And then share. Can you all see that picture right now? Excellent. Thank you, Elaine. Man, look at this guy in graphics. Yeah, I found Canva. If you don't know what Canva is, you may want to write that down. Look at what a farm boy from Ohio can do with Canva. Yeah, I'm pretty sexy and I know it. Here we go. You ready? If you all are ready, type an R in the chat. If you all are ready, type an R. Right? Who used to say that? Jim Rohn used to say that, right? If you're ready, say, I'm ready. Here we go. I love you all for responding. I seriously do. I know it's easy to type an R. There's Michael. How are you, Michael? Good to see you. All right, here we go. Good to see you. Thanks, Michael. So here's the 6 areas of retention. Now, maybe you've heard it as the 6 pillars or the 5 pillars of health. I add the 6th one in there because spiritual is pretty important to me. I don't profess it. I don't run around with a big S on my chest or carrying that leather book with the strands coming out of it for all of the different chapters I can recite. I can't do that. But what I do know is these are the 6 areas that we need to deal with retention. Let me ask you this. Do these 6 areas exist in your life? Do they exist in your life? If they exist in your life, guess whose life they also exist in? Your prospects. You follow me? We want to get sharper. We want to build. There's I don't know, 100 folks here this morning. There's so many of you that are here right now and there's Lewis. There's Lewis, sexy Lewis with that hair. Check him out. So the photographer, the greatest photographer, he's photographed some of the most amazing people in the world. And he has actually won a Pulitzer Prize for photography. I'm just paying it out there, brother. Here we go. We've got people who are on this call that have physical stories, emotional stories, social stories, work stories, spiritual, body. Doesn't your prospect, if we're working to get sharper on this, don't we wind up leaving our prospects in the dust? So here's the story, the retained story of health. Now there's a lot of you that are on here that are in the financial world. You talk about finances, you talk about global trading, you talk about leveraging trends. How many of you have talked to your prospects about their health? How many of your prospects would ever want to get some extra money so they could buy organic food? Have you ever had a conversation about the intake, the food intake that people have in their life? I'm just checking the chats here. Yeah, see, look who has. Lewis has, Latoya has. Why? Because it's all part of the process of bringing people to success, not into your business. If you're trying to build business, you're going to fail. Every single time you're going to fail. Learn how to build people. Don't build business. Don't build business, build people. Kayla, who's on here, who I am absolutely blessed to be a student of hers, she builds people. This woman has been through hell and back and upside down and right side up. I couldn't even begin to get near the car that she's used to drive through life because it is on fire. She builds people. She understands the story of human capacity, human capability. And when we learn to build people, life changes. So here's the rest of the retained stories. I know it's going to shock you. When we think of retention, we think I got to keep them in my business. No, there's the problem. It's not the retention. It's not that they don't want to be with you. It's these stories that they've retained, that they've carried with them, we've done nothing with. If you make them wealthy, listen carefully, how many people do we know who are wealthy, who are absolutely miserable? Absolutely miserable. You say, if that's what wealth is, hell, I don't want that. I'll stay where I'm at. See, it's because of their retained story that they have. Everybody you come to, everybody you have a conversation with has a retention that they're bringing with them. And then you think you're so good. You think your product is so good. Your service is so good that you're going to be able to overcome all of that. You think your 45-minute presentation is going to change their life? You know what? Sometimes it does. My question is what happens if the first one doesn't work? Are you willing, strong enough to go back to have another conversation? The problem is that we don't know. Typically, I'm going to make a generalized statement here. Typically, we don't know what the story is that people have in their family, in their health, in their wealth. And so therefore, when we don't go, we fail because it's a math problem. We're focusing on their finance. We're saying, go sponsor people, go build your business, go do here to the next level. And then all of a sudden they can't do it, but we're focusing on one area. And maybe somebody needs to come into your organization to learn to just how to have some friends, how to communicate with people. The last one was just the stories. Millionaire Love 3. I'm going to go through all of them here. You're going to see all 6 of them here. So hang with me, hang tough. I love you all. Success in our business model is a math problem. It simply is. Listen, I don't know if any of you have ever been in a tussle, been in a fight. I grew up on a farm, so there was known to be some wrestling going on. Wrestling? Should I say it? Wrestling going on? And I had 2 older brothers, and I was the baby of the family, but I wound up being the biggest, the tallest. So, but even if it was 2 against 1, that's not good odds, is it? Unless you were the 2, right? Here's the challenge. We go after one area of somebody's life. There's 5 other areas. It's a 5 versus 1. You want to know why you fail? It's a freaking math problem. The problem is we're doing addition and our prospect is doing multiplication. We're trying to add to their income. We're trying to add to their financial, and they're doing multiplication going, well, if I do this, well, I've got 5 other things that are happening right now that are compounding, that are getting worse because they're not growing. See, if their other areas of their life don't grow with the one you're focusing on, they're gone in 90 days. They're gone in 90 days. Their story that they have when you're not talking to them isn't strong enough to keep them. You realize this is all about story, right? This is why it's so hard to get people to consume our product, is because if you take my company, you take 2 pills twice a day, awesome. But what do they do for the other 23 hours and 58 minutes of the day? I got them for 2 minutes a day. Yeah, but I got to have a story that goes along with it, because what's Jim Rohn say? If it's easy to do, somebody type it in the chat. What's the rest of that? If it's easy to do,
it's easy not to do.
exactly. Although you don't follow the rules, I said type it in the chat. I love you. There's Kevin Torres. There's Nano, everybody. Listen, I got to say thank you to Nano. I'm going to publicly say it. I've got a bromance with him. This is my brother from another mother. I absolutely love him because he's the one a lot of you are here. The reason a lot of you are here. He's this amazing soul, this 26-year-old. I don't know. Maybe he's 27 now. He could be. I don't know.
25.
25. See, I knew I was going way too high. 25-year-old that's built this amazing community. Why? Because he loves you and loves you in all of the areas. And I got to tell you, I mentor him from time to time, and I beat the crap out of him because I know he wants to give you more. But the crap I beat out of him is the old story that's now working. So Kevin, I love you, brother.
Love you, Sean.
So here's the first one, the story of health. Now, wait a minute, but I'm not in a health company, Sean. I have a service business. I provide electricity. I provide amazing message cards. I provide greeting cards. I provide technology. If you're not talking to them about their health, shame on you. Guess what? Because I'm gonna. You want to go into a competition? You want me to talk to your people? Where's Lamar? If Lamar's on here, what did he say the other day? He goes, I ain't bringing my girl around Sean. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. So dealing with stress. We talked about this in the EQ versus IQ conversation. There goes somebody writing on it. Oh, they love it. Either that or it's a butt. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's a heart. I'm pretty sure it's a heart. I love you guys. So dealing with stress. If you can't manage your emotions, well, this can lead to some serious health issues. We talked about this in EQ versus IQ. 75 to 90% of doctor visits are stress related. Listen carefully. How well does your prospect handle stress? Have we ever talked about that? Have you ever asked anybody that, how well they handle stress? No, we haven't. Has your upline, and now listen, I'm calling some of you out. Do you know how they handle stress? You know how my team handles stress? They call me. They call me. They run off the rails and they go, I need to talk. I go, great, let's talk. How do you always have time to talk to me when I need it? 99% of the time I do, because that's the most important thing. Have you ever asked anyone on your team this question? Have you ever been asked this question? What are you now? Listen, don't, if you have some team members on this call and you haven't asked them this question, don't get mad. If you're the team member or you're the person on the call that hasn't been asked the question or haven't asked the question, don't get mad. Here's why. What's that phrase? You didn't know what you didn't know. Listen carefully. You didn't know what you didn't know. You now know it. Tanisha, thank you for that smile. I love seeing that smile. So here's the key. Here's the key. Listen, if you just get this, if we just ended this webinar right now, if we just ended this conversation, this dialogue, this friendship that we have going on right now, and you took that away, you could go build $1 million business. You know why? You know why? Because of all of the people, 190 people. What the hell is going on here? But somebody tell me I'm giving away free ice cream. Oh my gosh, I love you all.
Bro, I dropped it in every chat that I got access to, bro. I'm trying to get this value, bro. I appreciate you.
I love you so much. Look at you all. Hey, listen. So for all of you that are here for the first time, thank you. I haven't had the chance to meet you in time and space and circle into your 3D energy, but I'm looking forward to that moment. Thanks for being here. I need you to hear that. This gives me as much joy as I hope, as much value as I bring to you. But listen, if you start to ask your team just these questions, and I promise, please, don't go do it like a police officer. Hey, I was on a call this morning and I'm supposed to ask you, how do you handle stress? I don't have stress. Listen, if you just went and had this kind of conversation, if you just talked with, if 70 to 90% of doctor visits are stress related, what do you think the chances are the person sitting across from you who's wanting to build a business with you, who's wanting to have a conversation with you, it has some stress going on? There's a dang good chance, isn't there? What if they built a relationship with you was to just ease some stress? Now, in order to ease stress, they got to change some of the things they got to do. They got to change some of their old story. They got to give up some of the things they do. So maybe instead of them watching TV all the time, you get them on a three-way call and you just have them listen in to you do some trainings like this. I've got 190 people here this morning who are listening to me. I got 109. I'll have 190 hours of my life back because I would love to sit down one-on-one with each of you, but I probably won't be able to do that. But now I get to do that here. That took away a lot of stress in my life because I didn't know there were 190 people who wanted to have more, do more, be more. But it's because of people like you who share this stuff out. So what do you think happens when somebody has employees? See, if you're taking people into the rich dad, poor dad, into the from out of the E quadrant into the B quadrant, and they read that book, what do you think happens when they start this business and they sponsor somebody? Do you think there's a level of responsibility that all of a sudden falls on their shoulder that they didn't have the day before they sponsored somebody? You follow me? Do you think there's some stress going, oh my God, I have a distributor. What do I do? This is a volunteer army. The challenge is we start treating distributors, volunteers like employees, and we start telling them what to do, what they should do. We start injecting values on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis. What happens when someone quits? Do you think they get more stressed? This is all about managing our business. Do you understand? You got to tell them, listen, if you don't start with if the word no is not an option, if the answer for anything you're doing, if no is not an option, your yeses will never work. They are failed yeses. So when I bring somebody on and I have a conversation and they go, well, I don't know what to do. I go, well, then don't do anything. Yeah, but I want to do something. But what would you want to do first? Well, I'd want to do that. Well, go do that. Let's go do that together. Can I help? Oh, wow. You mean I get to be in charge of my life when I join you in business? Well, heck yeah. But I was in other businesses before and they told me that I needed to make a list of 100 people. Well, why would they tell you that? Well, because it'll help you build your business. Do you want to make a list? Yeah. Well, then start with one. Let's start with one and see if we can do that 100 times over. Start with one. Who's one? Folks, sometimes we put so much pressure on them to succeed because we need them to succeed. We wind up crushing their story of health. Do you think anybody quits because they're happy and ecstatic? I love this company. I'm out of here. Are you nuts? This is the greatest thing ever. I'm quitting tomorrow. I'm sorry. What planet are you on? True or not true? It's true. Brianna's taking a video or doing something. She's talking to somebody. Get it, girl. You tell him. Tell him a story. So this is just the story of health. Watch this. Family story. Now we're going to get a little serious. Now we're going to get a little emotional because some of you, many of you, I know you have stories about your family that would crush the average person. Ladies, I love you, every single one of you. How you get through life on a daily basis, dealing with the doubts and the fears. Where's all my strong Black women? Oh my gosh, I can't even begin to imagine the stories and the stress that you deal with even today. And I know that it sounds crazy to be talking about a personal development conversation, talking about the way culture is. Listen, I can't change it. You're doing your best to enhance it. All I'm going to ask you to do is stand strong in your shoes. And where's all my Latino women? Oh my God, the firehouses. You talk about, man, dealing with, I was talking with somebody yesterday, machismo. Oh my God. Ay, pobrecitas. You know, I'm telling you, it's huge. But this is their family story. So I got to ask you, how many of you instantly understand the pain that probably exists just under the skin of that beautiful soul that's sitting across from you? African-American, Latina. And then you've got, even in the Latina, you've got all of the, whether it's Dominican Republic versus Puerto Ricans versus Mexican. all of these stories, and we're trying to get them to go build a business. Puerto Rico, la isla de encanta. Ay, yo vivo allá para 7 años. Ay, qué chévere. The queen, the queens of the chat. There's Panama. There's I don't know. No, that's not Panama. That's Panama. There's El Salvador. I don't know. Maybe. Yes. There's is that Honduras? I love you all. Costa Rica in the house. Listen, your family story is important. I'm not saying you gotta like you throw out a laundry list of all of the things that sucked while you were growing up, but I can tell you if you had a rough childhood, thanks for throwing up all those flags. Colombia, is that Colombia? Bienvenidos. My brain went nuts for a second. Puerto Rico. You see how powerful, you see how Ecuador. Oh, I love Ecuador. I spoke in Quito, Ecuador 6 years ago to 5,400 crazy, wild Latinos standing on the chair with those horns going. This is all about your family story. What's your team's family story? How often do you believe this story flows into the daily story of their life? What if they start to succeed in your business? Do you think their family story pulls them down? This is about retention, folks. This isn't about keeping people on your team. This is about helping them relieve themselves of an old story. Is there a chance that this power can overpower their finance story, the story you're working on? You know why they quit? It's a freaking math problem. It's a math problem. Yeah, Atlanta is kind of its own country, Latoya, right? Hot Atlanta, baby. Does your story about your family inspire them or demotivate them? You know what? I'm going to say it demotivates them only because they don't know it. Many of you, they do know it. Some of you have come clean. Some of you have said life isn't as easy. It's all, you make it look sexy. Look at Brianna there. She looks hot. But I can tell you, she's got some scars that are stronger than the swords that made them. She's got some scars that are stronger than the sword that left them. We all do. We all do. Let's move on to the next one. Society story. This goes back to your culture. This goes back to your culture. This goes back to who you are. This goes back to whether you're, listen, there's racism in the United States. I know that. There's North versus South. There's that one. Then there's white versus everybody else and all of that stuff. And then there's us versus Latinos or Mexicans, or we're really not that worried about the Canadians, but my point is this. There's a lot of challenges here, a lot of social challenges here in America. But watch this. You go over to Europe. I've stood on stage in 30 countries, been translated into 40 languages. Italians think Slovenians are like the worst people on the planet. Slovenians think Macedonians and are crazy. So you go over here, you leave here, you go over to Europe, and there's country versus country. I mean, and it shows up in network marketing events and meetings. There's been some tussles. I've been at events where it's just been, they're still talking about the wars. But you know what? None of that compares to the racism that happens in our profession. When somebody leaves a company and they start to bash them, they start to tell them how bad it is. You know why they got to say how bad it is? Because they don't know how to build people. They were trying to build a business and they sucked at the business model and they failed it. So now they're going to blame the business model instead of themselves. There's so much racism in this profession. We have to level it up. Are all of you that are on here this morning, the 232 people, are you willing to level it up with me, this profession, to change the world? I don't know what business you're in, and I appreciate that. But here's what I do know. If we start to go build people instead of businesses, it doesn't matter what business you're in. You learn to build people, you will have a following. I'm not building a business here. I got 230 amazing souls who said, I'm going to go give Sean an hour of my time. God, I hope it's worth it. Man, I hope I'm delivering you some value. But 230 people we're going to go and change the world. You know what? If there was one on here, I'd be talking to you the same way, because I'm talking to one. Every one of you is an individual, amazing soul who needs to have more, do more, be more in this world. So do you understand how this retention that we talk about, sometimes we got to worry about their society, who they come. See, listen, my team doesn't look like me. They don't sound like me. My mentor told me a long time ago, you want to create a residual income that will allow you to walk away, that will walk away from you because of how fast it grows. Don't make it like you. They better not sound like you, look like you, talk like you, think like you. Because if they do, guess what? You all are going to wind up in the same coffin. So I built an organization that doesn't look like me, doesn't sound like me, doesn't walk like me, doesn't talk like me. Now, some of them do, but you know what? Those are my friends, and those are the ones that leave going, yeah, I really don't want to do this. It's like, damn it. You're never a prophet in your own land, right? You know that. So let's talk about your mind story. This one's, wait a minute. This one is about wealth. Hold on. Okay. So mind story. This just goes to, look at that. Look at that. See, anybody can do this. Y'all see that? There's the wealth story. This all has mind. And there's the mind story. That all has wealth. Oh, white boy makes a mistake. So wealth story. We're going to just use those. What's their mind story? How do they think? How many of you would like to learn? There's a lot of you that maybe have heard this already, but how many of you would like to hear 2 questions that I ask people to find out a year of their life? If you'd like to hear 2 questions that you could use to find out 12 months of somebody's life, type 2 in the chat. There you go. Okay, so here's the 2 questions. This is gold. How many of you knew that you could find out a year of somebody's life by asking them 2 simple questions? Y'all ready for this? Let's dance. Dun, dun, dun. Here we go. So if I was lucky enough and blessed enough to be sitting across from Fanny, I'd say, hey, Fanny, listen, is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions? Because my goal is to bring you tremendous value. And the best way I can do that is to find out where we're at. You know, if I were to ask you to come to your house, besides you being scared of me coming to your house, the first thing you'd ask me is, where are you? So I want to kind of find out where you're at. And where you're at, it's a perfect place. It's a perfect place. So here's the first question I'd like to ask you. I'd say to somebody like Michael, hey, Michael, let me ask you a question. In the last 6 months, if we were to pull out your journal or your calendar or your phone, if we were to look at it for the last 6 months, could you show me any events you've been, or books you're reading, or seminars you've watched on YouTube or something? Is there any kind of thing, personal development, that you've been focusing on in the last 6 months that gets you excited? Because here, Ben, let me let you know on this. No is an okay answer. No is an okay answer. But I'm just curious. And Michael would give me an answer, wouldn't he? See, if we don't give them the chance to tell us no, how many of us have had prospects lie to us? Or am I the only one? So Michael goes, well, I really haven't. And you know what I get to say to Michael? Listen carefully. This is key to the psychology of the rest of the conversation. This takes Michael out of the uncomfortable feeling. Here's the response to that. When Michael says, when his mind story says, all of a sudden he thinks, oh my God, I'm 22 years old. I'm 54 years old. And I've done nothing in the last 6 months to get myself out of this hole. What do you think the chances are you're even going to have his attention? But watch this. Here's the saving grace. Hey, Michael, I know that you said no. Listen, can I let you in on a little secret? And you kind of want to lean in a little bit. Michael, here's the secret. Some of our top income earners started exactly where you're at. Are you okay with starting exactly where you're at and going to the top of whatever business you have? But in our business model, some of our biggest income earners started exactly where you're at. So I'm excited about that. What do you think just happened to Michael's psyche? And it's true, isn't it? How many of us know people who are in this business who are doing wildly well, 6 figures, 7 figures, and 2 years ago they couldn't tie their shoes? God bless them. God bless them. And we're like, Wallace D. Waddles talks about it. Even the stupid get rich. And there's some very smart people who are poor. Why is it? Because it's about doing things in a certain way. It's not about doing certain things. It's about doing things in a certain way. And you having a conversation in a certain way will catapult your business. And it's how do we deal with these stories? So now, so there were 6 months, right? So watch this. If I said to Nano and I said, hey, Nano, listen, that's okay. Let me ask you this question. Here's part 2 of that question. In the next 6 months, if we were to look at your calendar, your phone, or your journal, what do you have planned for the next 6 months of your business to get you out of this tough question? Yeah, Kanye. Yeah, in the last 6 months, what have you done to change your life status, to move yourself forward, to have a to what seminars have you attended, or maybe you're watching somebody, you found somebody, a podcast or a YouTuber. So there's that. So now here's the next question. In the next 6 months, Nano, do you have anything planned? Listen, Nano, and no is an okay answer. Because if we don't give them the chance to let them know that no's okay, they'll never say it. Who's going to say, no, I'm an idiot. Nah. We just found out a year of their life. The last 6 months and the next 6 months. See, you work too hard trying to figure out what's going on in their life. We got to start with the bigger picture. Everybody wants to set 10-year goals. They can't even worry about the next 10 minutes. They can't tell me what they had for lunch yesterday, and you want to put them in a 90-day plan? Come on. Good luck with that. You're better at this than I am. I got to worry about the next 9 seconds for me. I got to worry about this nanosecond right now. What state of energy am I in right now? I can't do a 90-day plan. I can if somebody says we're going to focus on it daily. Yes, this is recorded. You'll be able to find it off my Instagram in the Telegram chat. I usually throw the recordings up there. Is this making sense? Are y'all getting this? Is this good stuff? I hope it is, because I want to give you my best. I'm not holding back, because here's what I can do. I can give you my best. Listen, you can give your prospects your best. I'm going to encourage you. Give them your best. Give them everything you have, because once you give it to them, you know what they don't have? They don't have you. You can give me the greatest vehicle in the world, but if I don't know how to drive it, if I don't know how to use it, you can give me all of the pieces of an amazing firearm, but if I don't know how to put it together and use it to shoot targets. So we're on the wealth story. Now we're on the mind story. Now let's go to the wealth story. This one cripples us. I shouldn't say that. That's an injected value. This one has crippled me for years. I grew up on a farm. My dad was wildly successful. We farmed about 600 acres. I would bale about 600 bales of hay in the summer with my brothers. I loved school, not because I loved to learn. They had air conditioning. It was 8 hours. I didn't have to work the fields. Now, trust me, I wasn't working it like crazy, but I was a tough kid. I was a strong kid growing up. I've gotten a little flabby in my latter years, but I grew up on a farm, 200 head of cattle, and they weren't dairy, they were beef, but we worked. And my dad decided to start a family business, and I'll never forget this. It scared my mom to death so much, she wouldn't let us turn the lights on in the house. Now, we had tons of money, but boy, my mom's story about wealth, my mother was Russian Jew. She grew up. Her mother used to go to I was born in Yonkers, New York, but she used to go down to the slums of the Jewish community to go get food and stuff. And my mother said, we were so poor. So when my dad did very well. And when he decided to start a family business, I can remember to this day, we took the light bulb out of the refrigerator. Are you kidding me? There was conversation to get rid of the dogs because they were eating dog food. We had to buy dog food. We weren't poor, but my mom was afraid of not having the replacement. That kind of scarred me. I didn't know that at that time. It was just, that was life. How many of us have been through a World War storm and we didn't know it because that was what our family did. That's how we grew up. Well, those stories you carry on, they reside in your genes. Let me let you in on a little secret. If you don't, how many of you know your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother or great-great-great-great-great-grandfather? You may not know them, but listen carefully. Their nose is sitting on your face. Those genes that genealogy flows into you, flows through you. You know what else flows through you? If the genes flow through you, so do all of the challenges they had as children, all of the challenges they had as adults. Your body, every cell in your body is a highly energized computer with a storage that is bigger than most laptops. There's terabytes, there's petabytes of information that are stored in cells. And when you do things just like your grandfather did, when you're reminded, oh my God, you're just like your auntie so-and-so. Tú estás mismo de su abuela. That means that you carry on those genes. And if their stories were tough, if their stories were rough and you've got it better than them, guess what? This is what's called incremental growth. I want to teach you U squared growth. I want to teach you exponential growth. You can catapult yourself 10, 20, 30 times greater than you are right now. Why? How do you do that? It's okay. You're going to have to let go of the old story. You're going to have to be okay with the new story. The first thing I have conversations with when people come into my business, I ask you, are you ready for the love? How many of you ever use that in your prospecting? Are you ready for the love? What are you talking about? Listen, if I introduce you to my team, could you imagine if I brought somebody to this call right now? And I have no idea how many people are on here right now. But if I brought somebody to this call right now, and I said, hey, listen, I want you to meet my team. And I said, hey, would you all send some love to this new person? You'd all be throwing up hearts and fires and love. And that person would be going, ah, right? What happens when you introduce them to your team? Don't they think this is just a bunch of BS? These people can't be this happy. They can't like each other this much. But it's true. You introduce somebody to like Daniela there with that smile and that bow in her hair. I just want to put her in my pocket and run away with her. Right? You introduce somebody to that smile that's that pure, that's real. I'm telling you, folks, this is real life. I can't teach you anything. I'm just explaining to you the reality that's allowed me to build a large global business from time to time. It's because when I see somebody like a Daniela, I go, I just need people to stand next to you. I just need people to have that energy. When I can sit somebody down next to a Michael, I could walk away from them and go, you just have a conversation with him. Get to know the soul that's in this body. Man, I'm telling you. So let me go on here. Spiritual story, same thing. Same sentences everywhere. Same sentences everywhere. Just adding in one of those pillars. Some of you have a faith story that's been challenged, that's been thrown on the rocks, and you've gotten through. Some of you are finding your way now. Some of you, I find my way every day. I've got a dear soul who guides me on a daily basis. She'll call me out. She'll go, excuse me, are you ready? I'm like, yes. Did you read your devotional? Yes. We all need mentors in all of our areas. I would encourage you to find a mentor, somebody who's absolutely wildly, amazingly good in this particular area. You can't have all things to all people, but you can find some people who are wildly good in each one of these areas. This is about, again, this goes back to our EQ, our emotional quotient in relationships, greater ability to express how we feel and understand others. What if you started to go through every one of these questions? And all of a sudden, your enrollment isn't a 30-minute presentation. It's a lifetime of conversation. Harvey Mackay, called the Mackay 66, talked about a form that he would have these people answer these 66 questions, and the chances of them doing business with their now this was traditional business, but he would have his salesman go fill out these 66 questions for everybody in that organization. And when they got those questions answered, the chances of doing business, if they hadn't already, was 100%. So I created the Sean 66 as it relates to network marketing. And I work on filling out that questionnaire all the time. If I asked you 66 questions about your best prospect, your best team member, I bet we probably couldn't get through 20 of them. Why? Because we're not building the roots of our business. We're building the structure of our business, and the roots aren't there, and it can collapse with the slightest breeze. So, a couple more slides, and then we'll have some conversation if you want. Here's the self-management, self-awareness. These were the 4 keys to increasing your emotional intelligence. Well, we just went through it. If you answer the questions that we just talked about, there was 6 areas and there was 7 questions, 8 questions. There's 48 questions you need to answer about you. So here's the reality. I need you to really pay attention to this, because when you start to go through this process, you're going to go, my God, they're going to know too much about me. Listen, the reason they quit is they don't know enough about you. I have people on this call who we are not in business, who we are not in business with. I have people on this call who I have never done business with, but we would go to the wall for each other. Why? Because our relationship extends beyond business. It almost goes into the family level, even beyond the family level. There's a commitment and accountability. There is a counting on your word. How much is your word worth? You know what? We're trying to have $1 million dreams with penny words. Ooh, damn, smack. We're trying to have $1 million dreams and we're using pennies for our conversations. I'm serious. The next time you tell somebody you love them, figure out a way to put a hand on their shoulder and look them and go, no, 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 I need you to hear me. I love you. How many of you know how to smile? Maybe you should tell your face. What if you sat across from your prospect and what if you relieved some of the tension? They feel like they're there for an interview. The last time they had a one-on-one, they were scared to death because they had to get the job. Don't they know they got the job here? All they got to do is let's get started. Here's the reality. You're going to go through these 4 stages. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what growth you're talking about. Every time we talk about this, we say, anytime we have a breakthrough, we got to have a breakdown. Well, here's the fear of realizing how much we do this stuff. Ladies, I need you to hear me for just a second. I'm going to speak to the ladies. Some of you listened to this presentation this morning and went, oh my God, I'm such a loser. I put so much pressure on my people. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, 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 no. You didn't know what you didn't know. You didn't know what you didn't know. Here's the great news. You can go back now and you can have conversations. If any of you want to go back to your team members and have these conversations, you go back with the apology approach. You know what? I got to apologize. It's called, what you're doing is you're enforcing the law of reciprocity. You're going to say, I apologize. They're going to go, no, 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 you don't have to apologize. But you go, no, listen, I just learned something today and I realized there's some more I could be doing. So I apologize that it's taken me this long to learn this. I thought I was better than this. You've now opened the stage to have a conversation about anything. They're going to go, no, law of reciprocity says, no, 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 you don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. Is it okay if we both grow together? Is it okay if we both grow together from today? So you're going to go through the fear of realizing how much you do this. Then the sadness of, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I know why people quit my business. I was pushing them. I thought I was helping them. Well, no, you can push them, but along you got to have permission to push them. You didn't get the permission. And then now you got the gold. Now you've got the secret weapon. You've got the Excalibur sword. You pulled it from the stone. You can get excited and help people understand that ATP, the addiction to approval. You can walk them through it. You can hear it in their words. Now, you're not going to be amazing at it overnight, but you will be better at it tomorrow. And then this becomes the new normal. If you don't apply this knowledge to your business, it's really not, yeah. You just changed my whole marketing mindset. If you don't apply this knowledge to your business, is it really knowledge? Yeah. Listen, our number one product, I ask this all the time. I ask this to CEOs. I ask this to CMOs, chief marketing officers. I ask this to top leaders, 6- and 7-figure income earners. I go, what's your number one product? Tell me your flagship product. See, I kind of trick them by using that word and they go, oh, well, it's our XYZ, the flower we pick on the side of the mountain that only gets pressed every Thursday at 2. I go, no, your flagship product is the next person, the person that's already in your business. That's your number one product. That's all of our number one product. When we finally commit as an industry to build people and not product, Robert Kiyosaki said it best. Network marketing is a personal development business model with a compensation plan wrapped around it. And the people who make the most money are usually developing themselves. I know souls in this industry. An Angel Fletcher left her husband in the middle of the night and drove as far as she could from Florida to get away from an alcoholic abusive relationship. Didn't know up from down. Didn't know about network marketing 6 years ago. And is a little over 200K a month. 6 years ago. How did she do that? She builds people. A Denny Robinson builds people. And a Lisa Grossman builds people. A Curtis Broom builds people. A Elaine Linus builds people. A DeMar, who's on here, builds people. I'm going to ask you, forget the business. Listen, it's run by a corporation. How much control do you have over those chuckleheads? I love them to death. Thank God they're here. They're the suppliers of the gig economy. You just got to decide you're going to become a supplier of the gig economy as opposed to a consumer. When you understand what you have the ability to give away to people on a daily basis, you can give them a chance. 52 million Americans are looking right now as part of the gig economy. They need somebody to tell them that it's okay, that they don't have to go sit in their car and take in people that they don't know, that they wouldn't want in their car. But they got to do it because they need to make that extra $100, $200 a day. You all have a gift. You've already opened the package. It's called your life. I'm just going to ask you now, can you do more with it? Has this been helpful? Thoughts, comments, feedback? What'd you learn?
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Claudio.
How you doing, my man?
Outstanding, brother.
My man, I'm here. I just landed to New York like about 30 minutes ago. I'm actually thinking about meeting up with Nano and get
That'd
some
be awesome.
calls, you know what I'm saying? But my question to you will be that so all right. People are too skeptical. So for you to actually make them take that first step to actually open, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I don't know how to explain myself, but basically, people don't believe.
How do you deal with their doubt? That's what you're asking. How do you deal with their doubt?
Exactly. That's basically it. How do you make them feel comfortable with trusting you when they don't actually know you?
Well, do you trust you?
I do.
I'm going to say you don't. Here's why. You don't trust what you can do for them. If you had a bottle of water and somebody was dying of thirst, could you trust that you could give them the bottle of water? Sure.
Yeah.
Why is somebody skeptical? Why are they skeptical? How do you think anybody's skeptical around me?
I mean,
no.
Yeah, no.
Really, but
no, they're not. You know why they're not?
Already though.
You know why they're not skeptical around me?
Why not?
Exactly, Tanisha. My energy is stronger than my commitment, my awareness. What's the word I'm looking for? Is stronger than their doubt. Yeah, past experiences. But see here, I set the stage. See, you let them run the show. My daddy said, if you're not asking the questions, you ain't gonna win. See, if I'm talking, if I'm teaching you, the problem is too many of you want to educate a prospect. You've got to be educated by the prospect. That's why I signed my paperwork, your friend and student. I'm the best damn student that sits across from any prospect. Why? Because I'm going to have them teach me about them. And once they teach me about them, I can help them create a roadmap. You want to educate them. The reason they're skeptical is because nobody said, hey, do you love me? Really, I'm telling you, Claudia, this is the thing.
So what would be the right approach?
Throw out a skepticism. Throw out an objection.
I mean, shoot, I ain't good at it, but let's I mean, you do it then. I mean, just ask me. Like, try to.
Is this a pyramid scheme?
If you have so
A
much
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, like.
So wait a second,
have so
Claudia.
much
So
money.
there was a question everybody gets. It's a pyramid scheme. Oh my gosh, I love you. I love you for asking me that. That's my favorite conversation. Why do you think I love talking about a pyramid scheme?
Because I mean, me personally, I see like everything is I feel like everything is a pyramid. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, here's the awesome thing. How long have the pyramids stood? Do you have? Oh, let me ask you this before we get started. Have you ever been introduced to the professional side of this business?
Not really. What do you mean?
Would it be okay? Would it be okay if we had a conversation that's truly the professional side, the 6 and 7 figure income earners? Would it be okay if we had a truly professional business conversation? Because otherwise, let me ask you this: are you looking for a reason to do this or an excuse not to?
Bingo.
If it's an excuse not to, then we can just end the conversation. What do you like in your coffee? I'll go get it for you.
Big one right there.
Man,
that's a big one.
That was a gem. Bingo. That's what it was.
Listen, I got thousands of those. I just don't know how to tell them to y'all. You got to ask me questions.
Man.
Mind blown.
Right.
Hey.
How many of you have ever gotten the objection? I don't have enough money.
Yes.
Everybody, I think. Shoot.
Well, if I could give you a conversation that would help with that, would you want it? Drop a $sign.
Hell yeah. I mean,
bags.
So watch this. Watch this. So if Fatu says to me, you know what? I love this. This is amazing. I don't have any money to get started right now. I ask this question: money for what? And you just watch the smoke pour out of their ears. Well, to get started. Oh my God, why would you ever want to get started? Well, to build a business. What would you want to build a business for? Well, to take care of my family. When do you want to get started?
You're a beast. You are a beast.
Gotta watch this again, man.
Whoa,
right
rewind. Can we rewind?
God.
that?
You just got
Listen,
repeat that.
I need to write all of that down.
This is better than any other training.
When he takes a breath. When he
listen, I love you all. Listen, I love you all. I'm glad you're all finally here. I've been doing this for 30 years.
Yo, where's the recording?
It'll be
right. I got
a good one, brother.
Listen, we'll do the same thing on time. Yeah, but I'm just too busy. Oh my God, what do you think you have to do in this business? Well, I got to spend some time doing this. Time doing what? Well, talking to people. Why would you ever want to talk to people? Well, isn't that how you build the business? Yeah, but why would you want to do that? Well, to create some income. What are you going to do with the income? What's the first thing you'd want to do with the income? Well, I'd want to do this. When do you want to get started?
Yeah.
Too many of you are not salespeople.
Be right with
Buyers. Too many of you are not salespeople. You're buyers. But now, Zig Ziglar says sales is a transference of enthusiasm.
I'm gonna memorize this whole conversation.
You don't have.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Oh God.
I got a question for you, Sean.
Go ahead, please.
Ladies
that
first.
was one of my
Ladies
that's one of my
first,
biggest.
Oh,
One of my
hold on.
biggest-
We got to do protocol here. Ladies first. Seema,
Yeah,
go ahead.
What?
No, not Seema, Lola.
Oh.
Lola, go ahead, Lola.
Thank you. So basically, I haven't started this just because I was afraid of those questions. So are you basically saying that with the way that you've basically made them answer their own questions by asking them, right?
You're absolutely right. The key is listen carefully. I need you to understand this. I need everybody to hear this. I'm going to do my best as a farm boy from Ohio with a 0.9 grade point average to get this across to you. Everybody knows what they need to do for the next step. Just the next step. We're trying to have them run a marathon and get to the finish line. We need them to take the next step, and they know the answer to that. What they're looking for is the silver bullet from us. And because we can't provide the silver bullet that makes sense to them, they wind up saying, this isn't for me. I can't do what you do. But you know what they can do? The next thing they can do. So we have to ask them questions that allow them to actually give themselves permission to take the next step. Because they have retained their own story. The story that you're fighting against isn't how good your plan is. It's how sucky their life has been up to this moment. And you're going to show up and prospect to their fears instead of to their joys. Too many of you prospect to their fears. Do you make enough money? No. Oh, I suck. Well, you should be with me. You should be trading. You should be here on vacation. You should be jumping in a lake because I can't do what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So
makes a
Lola,
lot more
what we're doing. So I'm going to give you 3 questions that are gold. Write these
Oh,
down.
Lord. All right, 1 second. 1 second. Let me just get the right book.
Hey,
Should
Sean,
have
one
been
more time.
had that.
Oh no, I did a shopping spree yesterday, right, at WH Smith, and I
Yep.
bought 5 different types of journals and like 3 different reading books,
Okay.
so that I had the right material to write in the right things.
Okay.
I don't know if it makes sense. So one is for like trading, one is for spiritual growth, one is my normal diary, one is for mentorship, and so like I need the right book to write the right things in. If I don't know if that makes sense to anyone.
It
or am I
That
just
does make
rambling?
sense. I did the same thing. That's
Yeah,
right.
I went on a shopping spree yesterday. Like I all wasted £60 in WH Smith, which is a lot of money for writing
Yes.
material when I think about it. And I got
People
a
tell me
whiteboard.
I have too many books.
Well,
You know what? I'm a book hoarder. But yeah, sorry. What did you want to tell me? I'm ready.
So here's the thing. Here's the 3 questions. When you sit down with somebody, if you want to make your conversations with your people, with your prospects, with your family, with your buddies, if they're asking you for help, you got to ask 3 simple questions. At least these are the 3 that I use. First one is, hey, listen, do I have your permission to help? I sit down with CEOs and CMOs and the executive C-suite of major corporations. I sit down when I was selling my business, when I was selling my industrial products. I would sit down. Monique, I'll go through that as well. Too many books. So here's the thing. The first question is, hey, listen, before we get started, do I have your permission to help? Do I have your permission to help? And they're going to answer that yes or no. Guess what? If they say no, guess what? Our call's over. So if they answer yes to that, then the next question is, I go, listen, this one's going to sound a little strong. It's going to maybe make you feel a little uncomfortable, but I got to ask it, because if we're going to do something you've never done before, to reach something you've never had before, you're going to have to feel a way you've never felt before. Wouldn't that be a fair statement? Yeah. Good. Do I have your permission to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable? Now, if you answer that one right, you're going to love question number 3. Yes, you can make me feel uncomfortable. I need to do this. I want to do this. Can I take you out of that uncomfortable feeling? Those are the 3 questions. No, I don't say, Don, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Do I have your permission? You're going to make them feel uncomfortable. I don't want anybody comfortable in my world. I want them so uncomfortable that they're willing to step out every single day. I know what you said. I just want to make sure I get it. I get what you're saying, but I don't want them comfortable. I want them to give me permission to help them win. If somebody's going to give me permission to help them win, I doubt there's going to be a day they're comfortable, because they're going to internalize their need to grow every single day, because we haven't. Some of us have just been lazy. So question number 1, do I have your permission to help? Question number 2, can I make you feel just a little bit uncomfortable? And if they answer that yes, they say, great. Number 3 is, can I take you out of that uncomfortable feeling? Before we leave here today, you will feel better than you did when we sat down. Is that okay? Yep, great. Let's have a conversation. Hey, listen, tell me why are we here? Why are we here?
To grow.
Okay, cool. Tell me, what would growth look like for you the next 6 months, right? I mean, now all of a sudden you're telling, my daddy said this, the only reason you have a conversation is so they can listen carefully, is so they can tell you how they want to buy. Ooh.
Say that one more time, Sean.
The only reason.
Can you say the 3rd question again, please?
Yep, I will. So the only reason you ever do a presentation is so they can tell you how they want to get started. Why are you doing a presentation to teach them about your comp plan? They don't give a rat's butt about your comp plan. They think they do, but how do you use the comp plan? You got to go sponsor somebody. I don't need to know I don't know my company's comp plan. I don't, honestly, I don't. When people start building and asking me questions, I go, have you gotten a check yet? They go, yeah. I go, does it have a comma in it? They go, no. I go, call me when you got a comma in your check. They call me when it's got a comma in it. I go, did you make sure the company didn't steal your money? What are you talking about? Go make sure they didn't keep any of your money. They learned the comp plan on their own. So, you guys, I love you. I love the questions. Keeps me young.
What did you say about internalizing?
So what the reason that we have a conversation with somebody is so that they can tell us how they want to get started. When I say internalize, they haven't, how many times have somebody had a conversation with somebody and they said they were going to keep a promise and help them win? How many people have been taken? How many people have had buyer's remorse? Everybody you're about to talk to. Everybody you're about to talk to. So you're going to come along with the thing that's already got a bad reputation, that already sounds like snake oil, and maybe they've even tried that. Maybe one of their friends sucked at it and lost a bunch of money, and now they think everybody's bad. Why are you trying to sell this industry of network marketing? And why don't you just sell MLM? MLM stands for mentors leading mentors, me loving more. I did a conversation, maybe you saw it in my IGTV, where I had a guy call me. That was a video from about 3 months ago, where a guy called me and I told him, I said, well, my one business is doing about $10 to $12 million a year. This year, it'll probably do 20 million. He's like, well, where's your office? My Instagram is on as Sean G. Murphy now, SeangMurphynow. That's Instagram. He said, where's your office? I said, I'm sitting in it. He says, I'm coming over to see you. I said, great. I'm at Costco. He goes, what are you talking about? MLM stands for me loving more. Mentors leading mentors, making lasting memories. Y'all need to change the way you see things. Dr. Wayne Dyer said it best, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So my buddy says, what do you mean come over to Costco? I go, yeah, I'm sitting in my office right now. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I run my business from my phone and my computer. I'm sitting in my office right now, which is sitting at Costco. I just got gas. He goes, I'm coming over. And this guy came over and we sat in my truck and we talked about business. He goes, I thought this stuff was such a hocus pocus. I said, you've never been introduced to the professional side. I said, you're an idiot for waiting this long. Y'all feel better that you got on this call this morning?
Most definitely.
Awesome, Brandon. Thank you.
That's how we do.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Amazing.
So I'm in MLM and I have an organization that has kind of grown faster than I could keep up with it, considering like where my own personal growth has been. And it's like I have about like, it's a small number as of right now, but I have about like 40 people I have to break the ice with and start implementing what you said on the beginning of the call. Where should I start? Because half of my organization are complete strangers and I'm scared.
Okay. So, and Seema, I see your question here. I've scrolled back to it. How can I help convince the South Asian community? Okay. We're going to talk about that.
Thank you.
So where do you start, Brandon? You start at the beginning. You ask a handful of leaders. So here's the thing. How many of you guys are young enough. How many of you have ever been to the club and there's two lines? There's the line where all of the sexy, amazing, hot people get in. And then there's the other line that the rest of us people have to stand in. I call that the red velvet rope of marketing. Too many of you are giving permission to allow people to have access to you, and they haven't gone through the red velvet rope. You've got to make a reason for them to want to get beyond the red velvet rope. You're thinking right now, well, wait a minute, we're getting you like we're on the inside of the inside, folks. This is the tip of the iceberg. What I can do with you in an hour here is a lot, because you haven't been to this. You've been starving, you've been dying in a desert, and nobody's fed you the right water. If you're still here, if you're still on this call an hour and 12 minutes later, 210 of you, evidently there's some source here that you've not heard before. And I promise you it works. I've got an organization of 30,000 people that I've done in 18 months. Now I haven't done anything. There's some people on this in this call. Now I'm not an IML. I'm in a whole totally another company. Why would I be helping you in your company? Because I'm not helping your company. I'm building people. So where would you start? Start at the beginning, Brandon. Say, hey, listen, I just found out there's a whole new journey we can take. I'm going to pick 3 or 4 of you to see if this really works. And you start.
Sean, I want to be 4 people.
You start
Just
with.
saying, I want to be one of the 4 people.
Well, you want to be one of my 4 people. So then you set up a goal for them. You have them jump through a hoop. They got to go sponsor somebody. They got to write out I saw somebody told me David Amante asked y'all to write out 300 goals. Do they have their list of 300 goals? Do they have,
Yes.
I would ask you, have you been able to write down 100 of your goals in 20 minutes? See, some of you, it took 4 days to write down your goals. You couldn't do that. I'm going to ask you when you can write down 100 goals in 20 minutes, call me back. Just start at the beginning, Brandon. Don't try to cross the finish line when you haven't got even to the starting line. Just start at the starting line and figure it out. Start at the starting line and figure it out. Go forward. Journal. Are you journaling, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay. So start with your journals. Make one of the requirements. They got to be journaling every day. They got to show you just the pages. They don't got to tell you what's in it, but they got to show you the pages. I promise you, you start journaling, you start recording your own success, man, it's going to be crazy.
Thank you.
Let me take a look here at Seema's question real quick. IML works for, you're not going to convince them, Seema, that IML works. You're not going to convince them that your Forex works. What you have to convince them is that they can have more, do more, be more. That's the only thing you can convince them, because any company fails for people. This company fails for people. My company fails for people. The 6 other companies I know that are on here fail for people. You've got to build people, not the business. If you're trying to build that business, you're not building you. So I'm going to encourage you to build your brand, to build the Seema brand. I don't know what your first name is. It might be that, but you're going to build your brand, and people need to come to you as a source. You need to be a resource for them as it relates to the 6 areas, right? Finance, family, spiritual. Now, if you're going to go into the Asian community, are you Asian, Seema?
Yes, I'm South Asian. So I was
Okay.
gonna ask, like, in terms of social media marketing, how, like, what suggestions do you have for me to reach to them? Because it's like, some people, they have like a set number in their mind. So when you say that number, they're immediately locked in. Or others just like your marketing skills. Or some people,
I'm going to tell you this. That culture, the Asian is very community based.
Yes.
So social media ain't going to work.
Okay.
I've built in Korea. I've built Korean markets in California. I've built, I haven't done China, but I have friends who've done China, Hong Kong, Thailand. It's all about, it's in the home. And
No, I'm Pakistani. So I'm South Asian.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's cultural changes right there. Right.
Because the only other person that I know is Sunil. And
so, but you've got all of this. What I'm saying is you're going to have to do it almost a one-on-one, one-on group, and you can follow up with it, and they can use technology. But it's hard to cross into that barrier. It's hard to get accepted for any change through a social media, through a 2-dimensional platform. You're going to need to dive into the 3-dimensional world.
So pretty much in-person launching. So in-person launching, pretty much.
Yeah, it's because they need to touch you. You know that. You're not going to believe anybody who says anything in an email or a post. So that would be my suggestion. That goes back to cultural. What's the story around society? And if I'm trying to go build in the Irish market, I do things completely different than the Mexican market. And I do different things in the Mexican market than in the Puerto Rican market. And then I'll do different things in the Slovenian market versus the Italian market. It is so cultural. And this is where we need to understand we're building business that's people, not people that are in business.
Right. I always tell like prospects, like, I want to be able to invest in you. This is not just a business. This is a family. And I'm going to invest my time into you because I want to build you to be a mentor.
I'm going to ask you to change that.
Okay.
Let's change it to this. Same words, just different syntax. I want to see if you're willing to invest in you, because whatever you invest in you, I will match that. I'll be like the 401k where the company matches it. Whatever you invest in you, I will invest in you. Are you willing to invest in yourself?
Oh, wow. Drop that. Whoa. Right. Okay.
I will match you step for step. I will actually double what you put in, right? Sometimes companies will double the match up to 10%. I'm going to double it for the rest of your life. Whatever you do, I'll double it. But you've got to take the first step, because I don't know if you're ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. So I'm going to ask you, are you ready?
Okay. This is what I needed. All right. All right.
Hey, Seema, let me let you in on a little secret. You're what I needed today. Thank you.
Thank Thank you. This is a whole blessing. The universe just keeps doing it. My mom and God just keep doing it.
There you go, my
Thank
girl. I
you.
love you. Hey, take a picture of this on and put it out on. Now, here's a payment I'm going to ask you all. Take a picture of this, take a screenshot of this group or whatever, and say, listen, I just talked to this chucklehead, but post it out on some social media somewhere. I'd ask you to do that.
Of course.
I love you. Thank you. I'm
Love
so
you
glad we
too.
get to build the Asian market together. I'm not even in your business. I've never met you. So just for a recording for
I'm bilingual, so I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that hard. Urdu was actually my first language, so yeah.
Can we get your Instagram?
Sean G. Murphy now, SeanGMurphyNow, and that's my Instagram handle.
Do you
The
hold
IG,
any
baby.
events
Hit
that
me
you
up on
speak
the
at?
IG, baby.
Do you host any events or do you speak at any events?
I do. Those will
Okay.
be coming.
Okay.
And it costs a bag, so you're gonna have to pay for that. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, no, SG though, I appreciate you for this call today, bro. I definitely had to make sure I got on when Nano just dropped it. Nano, I appreciate you too, brother. You already know the vibes, but yeah, I just felt the need to share this call with the rest of my organization and every chat that I had access to on Telegram. And it's a lot of people in my chats right now. I'm looking at all the chats. It's a lot of people right now. Really, really grateful for this call right now because it's value that we don't usually get, or that we haven't gotten before within our organization. So I always try to stress the importance to, people in our organization to reach outside of our organization and our business to other individuals who have the wisdom like yours, 30 plus years of experience that's needed. You have nothing but wisdom to teach us. So I try to stress that as much as possible, not only to my personal organization, but to the people that's in, I Am Academy. So I appreciate you, brother, for getting on this. For doing this call, for hosting this call, for talking your talk. It's crazy because I don't know if Nano get it from you, but I did one of these masterminds last night. I hosted a mindset call for my organization. I had like 200 plus on the call, and I did a mastermind after the call. And the reactions that I got from doing the mastermind that I originally got from you and Nano, I got massive feedback from it, and people actually loved it. People really came out and like told their stories, and I met a lot of people who have a strong story, like you were saying, stories that'll really tear you down, because only that person can really get through that and go through it. So man, I'm just grateful that I did that, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy, because from now on, every call that I do, I don't care what type of call, what type of training it is, I'm gonna do a mastermind right after it, because I know it helps people to be able to be felt, and it gives people a chance who are not like you were saying yesterday on the other call. They don't feel like they're public speakers, so to speak. It gives them a chance to get outside of their comfort zone and actually say, their piece, and actually drop a gem that they might have that they never really got a chance to say on the call because they haven't stepped outside of their comfort zone. So I just want to just show my gratitude to you. And then I know, like I said, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you for doing this call. And I'll be on every one from here on out. So you can expect to see me, bro. And I appreciate you for showing love on my page too. After I put, hey, for real, if y'all show love, if y'all screenshot, post on your IG, he literally gonna show your whole page love. Your whole
Facts.
story,
That's so
he
facts.
gonna show it love. So for real, like make sure y'all definitely show him some love.
And listen,
then when we do this
the reason that I can show y'all love is because you all are the first. Listen carefully. You all are the first. When this call gets to 1,000, 2,000 people, I might not be able to do all of that, but I will remember my insiders. So thank you all for being the first ones.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you for all the value and the wisdom.
And I'm going to speak to you all. Listen, I need you all to hear this. I really need you all to hear this. I want you to hear from my heart. Here's what I want to say to y'all. Y'all are strong. The fact that I have 30 years experience in this doesn't mean nothing. I'm doing my best every day to not fail, to fail forward faster, to fail forward in love. But I need you to understand, I need you to take your place in this world. I need you to stand strong. I need you to start sharing your message with people. Because why? Because I'm blessed. You know why I'm blessed to be able to have a conversation with each of you? Is because of somebody who doesn't look like me, somebody doesn't sound like me, had faith in me, and that's Nano. And that's y'all when you've been on my calls. I'm nothing special. What I am is I'm willing to tell my story. What I want you to do, and what I really need you to do is I need you to just start standing strong in your shoes. Know that you're the one that's in charge of your life. Man, we need you. My son needs you. I'm his dad. I'm brilliant, but I'm his dad. He thinks I'm an idiot. How many of us think our families are idiots? We love them. Yeah, but so my family still lights candles for me. They go, my brothers will see me on Instagram, or they'll see me then going, what are all these people following you for? Because I'm their baby brother. I'm the chucklehead. All I got to tell you is that I'm blessed to have each and every one of you here. My goal is to help you stand strong, is to have and to inspire the world, because here's what I know. If the 200 of us that are on here right now go find 1,000, that's 200,000 people that are singing the same song, following the same message, telling the same story, that people can win. You know what's going to happen? This is a penny doubled over time. We will impact over 1 billion people. And when we impact, this community impacts 1 billion people with a message of helping people have more, do more, be more, wars go away. Cultural differences go away. You've just got to ask yourself, are you willing to be at the front of that message? I think you are. I know every one of you are stronger than you know you are. I just want to be here to be that catalyst, that little spark that lights that fire inside you called you, and you go, hell yeah, let's go.
That just came across my mind right there.
So we've been on here for an hour and a half. You know, I could talk about this topic. I do 2-day seminars, 3-day seminars on retention, but I just want to make sure that this was valuable. And if you do have a question, hit me up on Instagram and I'll do a conversation, or at least, so we do this again tomorrow morning. Every day we do these calls. Every day we do these calls, because I'm willing to commit to your success and mine. Doesn't hurt me either to remind myself how to teach and train every day. So tomorrow we do it at 8:30 again, Central Standard Time. Bring some friends. Tell them you won't believe what we just heard. We got $1 million workshop, $1 million workshop for no fee. But listen, I need you to change that. I need you to change that. I need you to hear this very clear. You paid the most precious thing. You paid more than I could ever pay you. You paid more than you could ever pay me in money for this call, for your time here. And that's exactly what it is, your time. We can all make more money. I can't make you more time. You can't make any more time. So you gave me the most precious gift you have today. And I'm only hoping I gave you back 1/10 of what you've given me today. The key is to now go use it. You've written notes down. A buddy of mine, Ray Higdon, says those are your uncashed checks. Your notebooks are your uncashed checks. Go put them to work. Go make them work. You all good? Y'all ready?
Sean, can I say something before?
Yes, Brittany. Look at that smile. I love that smile, Brittany.
So earlier today you were saying something about how millionaires can be miserable as well.
Yes.
And I deal with that like next to me Monday through Friday on a daily basis. I'm an office manager for a home theater, like a smart home company.
Yep.
So I run the company with the vice president, and it's just us two in the office all day.
Yep.
And, yesterday he got upset with me because I've been talking about my business a lot and my personal development, and every day he shuts me down. He's like, you know, you're just going to be miserable when you're older. Like, stop thinking like this and that. And I'm like, you know, it's hard to get to not be in the moment and think the way that he has, that he's trying to make me think. So ever since I've been on your calls, Neno's calls, it's been easier to deal with him a lot because he's a millionaire himself, but he's so miserable that he just bleeds his like nasty energy out on me all day. And really, I just wanted to ask you, like, how would you deal with a situation like that?
Okay,
Like
so Brittany, there's 2 ways to deal with it. The hard way or the easy way. Which one would you like?
Both.
I can only give you the answer to one. You only get the answer to one. It's my game.
All right, the easy way.
And like her stepdad, he's one of them guys that say whatever.
Here's the easy way. Let me ask you this. In your past, in your history, have you ever had to, the hard way is to try to convince them. So I see everybody typing the hard way. The hard way, if you want to do it the hard way is to try to convince them. And what's that phrase? A man convinced against his will is of the same mindset still. So I'd rather not do that. I'd rather use the easy way, which is more powerful. How many of you have tried to change the path of a river? And the river says, ha, 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 you're an idiot. I'm going to be the river. Yeah. So here's the easy way, Brittany. Forgive.
Okay. Yeah, I try.
No, don't try. Just do it. Because here's the thing. You're drinking the poison thinking it's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Why are you drinking the poison? Just go in your mind, you go, oh, bless his heart.
It's true.
Thank you, Sean.
Because you know what? You know what's happening when you're listening to him, when you're letting his information pour into you. You've got to put up your Teflon shield. You've got to put up your iron shield. You've got to put up this world that says, you know what? You're trying to keep me back. You're trying to be that crab in a bucket, pulling me back down. You can try. I'm not gonna do it. So what'll happen is, and there's a phenomenon. Dr. Shad Helmstetter in the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. I'm a certified as self-talk instructor and trainer. And what happens is that Dr. Shad Helmstetter says that if you just stay in your emotional state, if you just keep true to your word, you don't even have to say anything. It'll change the way he thinks. Right now, you're having conflict.
Yeah. We actually had a conversation. You asked me about my goals, and this is the job that I'm going to quit by February 25th of this year. And, you know, I pay his bills and I do everything for that company. And he had the nerve yesterday to call me an inexperienced 21-year-old as he is letting me handle his bills and deal with his clients. And I'm like, you're just upset that I'm.
So Brittany, you're absolutely right. Here's the challenge. You know how to end an argument, ladies. I say this, you hear this with love, but you know how to end an argument. And guys, so do you. When you're in the middle of a heated argument, you know how you end an argument? You're right. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. Now you've poisoned the water. You're right. You're damn right. I'm right. What do you mean I'm right? If you use that, if you say that, here's the thing. That doesn't serve either of you well, and it causes a rift. It causes a rip in the relationship. What you've done is you've just stopped momentum. And in the middle, momentum doesn't stop. It builds up and it turns into something that crushes you later on. So if you're using that in an argument to say you're right, my mentor would say, you're right, I'm rich, let's move on. I'm going to encourage you to say, what a fascinating approach. You know what? I love the way you look at life. That keeps you from having to be right or wrong. You know what? You're an inexperienced 21-year-old. You know what? That's an awesome way to look at me. Now they walk away with higher energy and you walk away intact, in peace, whole. Give people what they want. They want to be more powerful. Let them think they are. The problem is you all are giving away your power. Don't give away your power. People call me, you know how many haters I'm going to have when they see this recording? You're going to go, people are not buying my training anymore because you're giving this shit away. Dude, sucks to be you. I'm sorry. Just stay in your power. Ladies, don't give away your power. You young folk, I say you young folk, you're old souls. You're 20 years old dealing in a 50-year-old world. Don't give away your power. Let them think they win. Isn't that fun? Isn't that more fun? You know what? You're
Very
right.
true.
You guys are so powerful. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be hanging out with Nano. You wouldn't be here if you weren't so powerful. Y'all are amazing.
So true. So true. Mr. Sean, can I add something to Brittany?
Sure, please. Go ahead.
Brittany, first of all, I just want to start off by saying, Sean, thank you so much. Nano, thank you so much for your great advice and your great calls. Okay, Brittany, I know exactly how you feel, okay? I work in a barber shop, and I'll show you right now my barber shop. Check this shop out, okay? All right. I am the youngest in the barber shop, okay? And I have started I Am Academy 6 months ago. And I go with my positivity every day. And I was dealing with what you're dealing with. And Sean is so right. All you have to do is smile. Let them have the power and let them walk away with the power. Just smile. I promise you, when they see that smile and they see your growth, they're gonna be way opening to you. They're gonna be way more understanding. I have one of the barbers just enrolled yesterday because they're finally believing in me. They finally see who Ryan is becoming. It can't happen in 1 week. It happened over 6 months. And I wrote down my 300 goals like Mr. Sean mentioned. And guess what? I have every barber in that goal. Their families, their kids. I'm gonna help every barber. I'm gonna close this barber shop down. It's gonna be mine.
Thank
Right?
you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
Love Ryan energy, man.
Hey,
Gosh.
real quick, can I add to that? Can I add to that too, Ryan? Because I definitely want to say something. For you, Brittany, somebody I heard this. Matter of fact, not Les Brown. One of my mentors told me this. I can't remember exactly who it was, but he told me this. He asked me a question. He said, if somebody sent you some poison through the mail, right? They packaged up poison, sent it to your address through the mail, and you got it, and you opened it up, and you seen that it was poison. And I'm asking you this question, so I want you to respond. If somebody sent you some poison through the mail and you got the package and it was poison, you opened it up, what you gonna do? You gonna send it back or you gonna throw it away? Real question.
I'm gonna throw it away.
Exactly. You're not gonna waste no money packaging up the poison just to send it back. You just gonna throw it away because it's a waste of time to waste your money on that. So the same thing with your energy. Somebody sending poison your way, you don't give it back. You just say, okay, cool, I'm gonna throw it away. That's perfectly fine. Like Sean said, in your mind, you say, God bless you. Because giving poison back is the same as you saying, and excuse my language, y'all, if you calling him all type of bitches and this and that all in your mind, that's still giving that poison back. You just not giving it back to him verbally, but you giving it back to him in your mind, right?
Right.
So that means you still putting that back into the universe. So even if he giving you that poison, even if he giving you them bad vibes, all you say is, you know what? God bless your heart. God bless you. I wish you the best. I genuinely hope that something comes over you, some positive energy. Don't send that poison back at all, in no way, shape, or form. Not when you get home, not in your mind, not physically, not verbally, not emotionally, none of that. You just take that poison, you put it in the garbage, and you carry on about your day. Super
Thank
simple.
you.
But here's
I
the
appreciate you.
challenge. Here's the challenge, everybody. Amazing advice, easy to say, tough to do. Why? Because we're looking to get our pound of flesh back. And so we go home and we take it out on our family. I'm going to encourage you. You got to leave it right where it is. It's better if you don't even have to pick it up. If you just don't even open your mail. I get it. We don't want to send it back. It's easy to say, tougher to do. Here's how we make it real easy to do. Decide in this moment, right? In this moment right now, you have a choice. In this moment right now, you have a choice. Do you choose joy or do you choose misery? And if you choose joy, that has to be with every breath. God made the world and he looked at it and he said, it is good. Everything is good. That guy is building your strength, is teaching you how to be stronger, Brittany. He's teaching you how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to stand strong in your shoes. Don't just go, thank you. Oh my God, another lesson. I got another lesson today. I got another lesson that I'm a powerful source.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate you.
I love you so much. I mean that. I know
you.
it sounds crazy, but I love you. I love your energy. We've known each other for eons. We just get to meet in this time and space. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Thank you.
Yo, Sean.
All right, folks.
Brother.
There you go. We're doing this again. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Yo, what's going on, Sean? How are you today?
Outstanding.
Bro, I just want to say I'm blessed to be on this call. And I want to let you know one thing I did learn from you today was that it's actually all right to start over with like your people that you enrolled. I didn't even think of this. Like I had a kid from Australia that I got on my team with me. And like, obviously it's hard with the time zone. So I was like, yo, you got to do this, this, and this, kind of pushing it. And I liked what you said earlier about can I apologize? I can apologize and be like, yo, I got to start over with you. And like, just learn about like his life and everything. I really did like that today.
Yep. And you say, listen, I apologize. Is it okay? We can't start over, but we can start new with our past experiences. Can we take what we've learned about each other and can we use it as a catalyst to have this new relationship and go from there?
I love it. I love it. Appreciate
Awesome.
you.
Thanks for bringing that up. Michael, I got to tell you, that's a huge gem. That's a hidden secret. A lot of people it just skipped over them. Maybe it didn't, but a lot it did, but I'm glad you caught it. That's powerful. Thanks, man.
For sure.
Before this call,
Go ahead, Tanisha.
before this call last night, I was talking to somebody about Forex and all this, and I thought like this is the second person I was talking to about it because I'm fairly new, and I was like, my approach is so different than everybody else's. I'm doing this wrong. Like, I've been on the calls where they say you have to talk to people and stuff, and my approach was way off. But literally, I approach them by my experience, not. I don't tell them about how rich they can be. I can tell them what they do, what they can do with it. I literally told them, like, when I first started with I Am Academy, like, I give Forex its props because, you know, that's where money comes from. But I really go deep into the I Am Academy, the family, like, because before I started, I felt like I couldn't go on. It was too much happening. And literally the mindset change of every morning motivation, every call, everything is literally how I explained and got my person last night. Literally, I was like, it's a family. I never want to see anybody down like that. I never want, like, it's always a way out. It's always, I was just telling them about that. I told them about the money and everything, but what fascinated them more is the growth of me. And literally that's what got them into the company. Literally, like, not like the money is a good thing, but this is what they said. It was like, I appreciate you telling me, because usually it feels like you bringing me into a company so that you can make money, but now it feels like you're bringing me into the company because you cherish my well-being. And that's literally how I got it. I thought I was doing something wrong because it's not like it's not your typical, you know, way to get people. But like, literally this just verifies that what I was doing is good, and I'm just gonna keep pushing on.
There you go. Go have some fun with it. I think it's awesome. I appreciate you. Yeah, facts tell, stories sell. Nobody's joining your business. Nobody's joining your business. They're joining the vision that you're creating. And the challenge is that sometimes they can't follow their vision. They got to follow their own. So be good at finding out what their vision is and seeing how you can align it all together. That's the key to it.
Sean.
Yes.
I just wanted to say quick, I'm just so grateful for the call. And honestly, this is something I'm going to be plugging into every day. Nano plugged me into this, and the value that's in this is incredible, honestly. And something that I learned is how you kind of have to ask for people's permission to invite them. Like, you want to ask them for the permission to better them, you know, because you see the vision for themselves. You just have to get them to align that with themselves as well. So,
I mean, I'm not smooth when it comes to, when I was back in high school, I was what you would call the non-smooth guy. But could you imagine me walking into a bar, walking into a club and going, hey, listen, you want to have babies? I mean, that doesn't make sense. You walk into a club, hey, oh my God, you want to have babies? You haven't even asked their name. So you've got to create the relationship. And I promise you, as cool as you think you are, that person sitting across from you is finding 600 reasons why you're an idiot. There's people, they look at me and they go, that shirt, you're going to talk to me in that shirt? So give them a chance to let them unwind, to let them breathe a little bit. Life is so stressful. If you just give people a place to breathe and to actually feel themselves for the first time, to be able to awaken to their own self, awaken to that dream that they had 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that has been put on a shelf, shoved in a corner, buried in a coffin. If we could just uncover that, man, we could have some conversations.
Thank you.
There you go, folks. Thanks, Valentino. I appreciate it.
Morning, y'all.
Go ahead.
Hey, I know you're trying to go real quick. First of all, man, I appreciate your time, Nino. I appreciate you plugging everybody into this, man. Sean, you said something earlier about switching from being a buyer to being a seller, and that's something that really resonated with me, because it's something that's been really holding me back in this in this whole opportunity. Can you throw out some pointers as far as switching that paradigm?
So you've got to decide. Every conversation is a negotiation. Chris Voss, How to Never Split the Difference. He was a FBI negotiator. He was the top FBI international negotiator for hostage situations and everything.
Right. I have that book. I haven't cracked it open yet, but I will.
So then don't do that, because that would work.
It's in the queue. It's in the queue.
Well, get that to the front of the queue. But here's how you go from buyer to seller. You decide what they're trying to sell you. Listen carefully. What they're trying to sell you is something they've already bought. So when somebody gives me a feedback, gives me a something they're trying to sell me on, I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that. I say, do you remember question number 2? Make you feel a little uncomfortable? Can I ask you a question about that? And they go, well, yeah. How long do you want to have that story? And then you listen. Now I'm no longer buying the BS that they just sent me, and the BS is belief system they just tried to sell me on. I'm not good enough. I don't like sales. Tell me, how long has that served you well? Has what served me well? Not being good at sales? Are you making are you at the level of income you want? Because maybe you need to be better at sales. How long do you want to own that story that you just told me? Now you gotta have the depth behind you. Because if you try to go repeat this question out to your next prospect and they go, well, what do I do? You're gonna go, shit, I didn't know you were gonna answer that. Anytime somebody tells you something, you got to stop, change the state of mind, go into your DJ voice. You guys have heard me do that on this call. You go into your DJ voice. See, people are teaching you scripts. They're not teaching you how to play the symphony. They're giving you the violin, but they're not putting you in an orchestra. So when you sit down and somebody tells you that, you go, you know what? I love that answer. I love that question. I love that objection. I got to ask you a question. It's probably not the first time you've ever said it. How long do you want to own that story? And then the part of it is you got to learn how to be quiet. Silence. Too many of us are afraid of silence. I love silence. Silence is where I win.
Thank you. Definitely. I appreciate that.
You bet. Well, there you go, folks. We're going to do this again tomorrow morning, 8:30 sharp. And then we do it every weekday, 6:30 a.m. Bring your friends, bring your dogs, bring your cats, because that's who you're going to do most of your presentations to. Let them know what you're talking about. And listen, everybody on here, I do appreciate you. I love you more than you could even begin to imagine. And how is it possible we've never met? Because I already know your soul. Your soul says, I want to help the world do more, be more, have more.
Hey, Sean.
John, te amo.
Hey, te amo. ¿Cómo está? Viva Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Hey.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take care. Love you.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Hey, Sean, what was that book?
Thank you. That was awesome.
What was the name of that book?
Thank you. Have a good day.
It's called Never Split the Difference by was it Chris Voss?
Chris Voss.
Never Split the Difference?
Yep.
He teaches a master class too. Take care, you all.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, Shammy. Hi, Shammy. I love Shammy.
Hey.
You all are an amazing community. Take care.
Take care, everybody. I love my misfits.
Bye, everyone.
Love. Major love.
Bye. Love you.